So I'm going to freestyle about stoicism because I've been reading stoicism for more than 5 years. I started to read stoicism when I was 15, 16, something like that, during COVID, and I actually never stopped reading about stoicism. I don't want to say it in a very scary way because it is actually a beautiful journey that I'm taking and that I took, but it is actually interesting. Um, I started to read about stoicism because of a friend. We were talking and he was explaining something to me. And when he was talking to me, he was explaining that he um, has been very stoic. And I was like, what is this word? What is stoic? What does it mean? So, as a normal person, I tried to look at on Google what was the word stoic and what it actually means. And I fell into this beautiful Wikipedia page that I just know by heart now. And mind you, I read it today and I realized that they actually actualized this page so so much. Like when I was reading it, I wasn't having that much information about stoicism, but now that it's kind of trendy, you can see a lot of things about stoicism, things that are actually true and untrue. Anyway, so I started to read this beautiful page. Stoicism is a movement that has been created by Zenon de Christian in Athens, in Greece, during this period, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, okay. And the page was saying that this movement is a movement about um, trying to understand yourself, trying to let go of some somewhat some things in your life, sorry, and trying to understand that everything is based on perception. I mean, we'll talk about that later. And yeah, I was like, wow, this is amazing. So I started to continue with many authors. So I started with Marcus Aurelius, and I had like a sort of, let's say, hyperfixation on Marcus Aurelius because I was learning a language when I was, I think, 14. I was learning a language called Latin, and I had the opportunity to go into Italy, and my teacher of Latin, she was a big fan of Marcus Aurelius, so I already had the occasion to learn some stuffs about him, and then I just pursued, like I did the same thing but by myself, and I realized that I appreciated this guy too, and walking on the place where he was walking actually did something to my brain. So I had like a sort of hyperfixation on Marcus Aurelius, and I read one of his book called Penser pour moi-même, Penser pour moi-même, and in English I think it's like Thoughts for Myself or something like that. And this is a journal, and this beautiful journal did something to my brain, something major. I started to see the notion of owning yourself, owning your identity, owning your perception of things as a duty. And I started to become hyper aware of the things that I was doing right and the things that I was doing wrong. And yeah, it actually shifted something in my mind. I feel like I had to just have more ownership and more self management because I would not be with my parents all my life, so I had to learn how to just, be yourself, own yourself, like. And yeah, I started this beautiful journey with Marcus Aurelius. Then I continued with Seneca, and Seneca was writing this whole book called Letter to Lucilius. And I initially read like a very small version of this book because I thought that was the initial version. Then I went to this library called ENS, and I saw that no, this is not the real version. The real version is like something with more than 100 pages, like something big like that. And I was just carrying it all the time and reading it all the time. And I realized some stuff about that. I realized that stoicism is actually a movement of humility, okay? Because I was doing another thing. Uh, on Spotify, they had a podcast with the lessons of Seneca. So basically, I was listening to one lesson per day, again and again and again and again and again. And then I was journaling thanks to that every day. And I was also having an application on stoicism. And with this application, I just decided that I would, how can I say that? I would try to write about that, try to understand things that I should do in my life and things that I should actually not do. And yeah, I generally like this journal, even though I don't use it anymore because I feel like now it's fine. I really liked it for this specific period of my life because I feel like I needed to read stuff like that. Okay. So stoicism actually helped me to understand that everything, and when I say everything, I mean everything is based on perception. So now I try to not feel the pressure of positivity and negativity so bad. You see, I try to find a balance between both and understand that if I actually change my perception of things, I can see things very positively or very negatively. It only depends of my perception. And mind you, this is not some type of psychosis or like spiritual awakening or some crap like that. It is actually true. So it helped me to see my failures in my life in a more neutral way, sometimes more positive way, and it helped me to understand that I can overcome any obstacles if I genuinely want to do it, you see. So the more you will study stoicism, the more you will understand that problems are not really problems. So you can have struggles, all type of struggles, but when you just focus on finding the solution, trying to understand your perception of things and trying to change it for the better, and I repeat it, for the better, you will see that, yeah, things are not that dramatic as you think they are. And if you actually want to change it, you have the power to change it. Okay? Stoicism also made me learn that I can be my own parent. I can be my own father. I can be my own mother in a way, especially if you try to work on yourself to become a better adult or just an adult in general. Like, you can do it very easily with stoicism because it will just help you to understand that you have to let go of things that you cannot focus on and control, and just focus on the things that you can actually control. You see, like when you can manage it, just do it right, and when you cannot manage it, then leave it alone. You see, We can illustrate this point with, I don't know, maybe let's say losing weight. Very simple example. You cannot focus on um, how your body will react to the sport that you're doing. Like you cannot focus on losing weight in a very drastic way. You cannot focus on losing 5 kilos in 5 weeks, but you can actually focus on what you need to eat, what you need to do, the sport that you need to do, how many times you need to do it per week, and yeah, that's it. Like it's extremely simple. I feel like stoicism also make me learn that things are very simple in general, like as I was saying, and that yeah, in a way, you have to believe in yourself. You have to pour yourself into humility. Humility. You don't have to explain too much what you're doing, and it is actually better to let people see and notice what you're doing more than explaining to people what you're doing. Like as Brenda was saying, they explain, tired. Like it's ridiculous. It's better to just let people see that you're fit more than explaining to people that you train 5 times a week. You see, like it's ridiculous. It's better to just um, let people to see that you you speak 5 languages because of circumstances more than just coming to the world and talking and trying to show that, yeah, grazie, gracias, thank you, bonjour, bonjour. No, you see, like it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's better to just like, um, yeah, live in humility in general. And this is actually a notion that I try to put in now. I try to stay humble in the things that I'm doing. I try to not brag about all the things that I'm doing. I was going to say even though I could, no, I cannot for now. But I try to just not brag about that because, first of all, there's some stuff that I cannot control that actually help me to have this. Okay, so this is not me. This is just the luckiness, the circumstances. Like this is not me. You see, and even if it's me, why do I need to talk about that to people? Like I have nothing to prove to them. What? That's the thing. Um, did I learn other things thanks to stoicism? Um, Let me think. I don't think so. I think that it's fine for now. Yes, just not for don't forget the perception of things. Everything is based on perception. Like if you wanna see the struggle in your life, you will see them. Okay? And if you wanna see the blessings of your life, you will also see them. It's extremely easy. Voilà. Thank you.